Hello, this is Kevin Benedict, Senior Analyst with Digital Transformation at Cognizant, reporting live this week from Oracle's Open World 2014. Hello, I'm Kevin Benedict, and I want to welcome Kai Vanderloo, who's the Vice President of Oracle Mobile Development. Kai, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Kevin. Nice to be here.
So you have responsibility of the mobile cloud services that were announced here in Oracle, don't you?
Exactly.
So for those in the audience that are not aware yet of mobile cloud services from Oracle, why don't you share with us what its purpose is, who's the target market, and what are the components?
The target market is essentially any company who is moving beyond the first or second mobile app. You know, a lot of companies have been out there, they built maybe one or two employee-facing apps internally, they've struggled with the connectivity to the back-end systems, but somehow they made it work. Maybe they've had some agency go off, build some consumer-facing thing that isn't integrated to anything else. Now they realize they need a bit of a mobile strategy and they need a platform for this strategy, and that's where the mobile cloud service comes in. It is one place to go for all your mobile developers, whether they are employees or contractors or work for an agency, where they can go and they find everything they need to build an app. All the mobile APIs, we have some built-in capabilities like storage and sync and push notifications, and the custom APIs that you need for your particular company. So the mobile developer has one place to go where service developers, the people knowledgeable about your particular corporate systems, have been exposing these systems as APIs, they've been securing them, they can manage all of this over time so that you not only get your first or second mobile app built, but you can build your fifth and your 10th, and you can maintain these over generations.
Got it. So Kai, I was just listening to one of your colleagues speak at the keynote this morning, and one of the things that I was particularly impressed with was the complexity of supporting some of these huge enterprise class systems. Talk to me about, since this is your baby, what are some of the probably the biggest challenges you guys had to overcome in order to support a mobile cloud service?
To be honest, all this enterprise complexity, this is what we're good at as a company. This was the easy part. The bigger challenge for us was to make this thing look good, to make it attractive to the user, to make it fun for a mobile developer to use. That's where we've been out looking at startups who set the bar very high. Some of the mobile backend as a service vendors out there are very good at usability. They're very good at user assistance. This, for us, was the inspiration, and we set the bar very high, and I think we reached it. So all the enterprise complexity, this is what we do as a company. We've got lots of people who know how to deal with this, so we just went ahead and dealt with it. The bigger challenge was to make it look good.
So Kai, walk us through, what are the individual components that make up this solution?
If you think about it from the perspective of a mobile developer, you're going to build a mobile app. You've been sitting down with your business owner, with the designer, and now you know what to build. Where do you find all these things? You may need to connect to some on-premise enterprise apps. You may need to connect to some cloud enterprise apps. You may need to connect to some web services out there. You want maps from some map provider. You want to connect to the social networks. You want all of this. We give you this in one place. So the components that this is made up of is, one is just a kind of pass-through connectivity to these web services that are out there. They're relatively easy to connect to. You get your maps, you get your social networks over RESTful services. So we have a REST connector that goes out, deals with these, easy to do. But we have some convenience built into that, some added security. So that's one part of it. The other one is to connect to enterprise systems in the cloud and on-premise. You probably speak SOAP to these. You need sophisticated security like SAML. You need to propagate the identity of the user all the way to the back-end systems. That's another element of it. You may want to implement some APIs in custom logic. So we have a complete Node container where you can develop your custom logic in Node, you can shape data, you can orchestrate service calls, you can store data in a database that we provide you, so you can build your own logic in this platform. And we have some built-in, pre-built services for storage, for data sync between the client and the server, for sending push notifications. You don't have to mess around with connecting to the Apple push notification service or the Google Cloud messaging directly. We do all of that for you. We have some built-in capabilities around user management. If the users of your mobile app are not users on your enterprise network, we can handle all of that out in the cloud service. So I'd say those are the main components as seen by a mobile developer.
So do you think that is your target market primarily Oracle users, or do you see that as equally valuable to non-Oracle users?
Equally valuable to non-Oracle users. We do have the ambition to be really absolutely seamlessly integrated with all Oracle software, especially other Oracle Cloud offerings, where the Oracle SaaS and PaaS offerings, it can be totally seamless, but it is as applicable to any other back-end system as well. And as we all know, real-world enterprise landscapes are heterogeneous. You have packaged apps from different vendors, you have custom-built apps. Increasingly, you see cloud apps out there. It's not all from Oracle, and we can deal with all of this.
So Kai, I've been in the industry for a long time, and it used to be 5, 6, 7 years ago, it started on-premise. Mobility was always an on-premise server, and then you have all the toolkits and the SDK, as well as the middleware and all that. It's moved to the cloud. Do you see that as being a natural, that it should be moving to the cloud?
I think it's mobile and cloud go so well together, because pretty much by definition, your mobile devices are not on-premise. The mobile device is off-premise. That's why you want mobile in the first place. So having the mobile backend in the cloud makes a lot of sense. You do not want all these mobile users, if they're, say you have a consumer-facing app, you do not want all these people on your network. You want to aggregate this in the cloud. You want to keep it out of your network. You do the aggregation in the cloud, you deal with the large volumes in the cloud, and then you have one single secure connection to your enterprise for the enterprise connectivity that you need. But you keep the mobile-facing aspects of it out in the cloud where it belongs. So I think cloud and mobile are perfect. It's a perfect fit.
So Kai, if you look at the various components that make up a lot of these MBAS solutions and development environments, etc., and if you were giving advice to the audience out there, what is the key component that you think an enterprise should be paying attention to when it comes to selecting a vendor? What are the key questions they should be asking their vendors?
I think the number one question to think about really is, what is my mobile strategy? How will I be living with this for the next, say, 3 to 5 years? I don't know if anybody can look that far ahead, but like, how many apps am I going to be launching? What types of apps? Who is going to be developing the app? Who is going to be doing the back-end integration? This is what you need, a platform that lets you build many apps, that lets you build the apps quickly, and not just the first version of it. It's easy to build version 1 of anything, but you launch a new version maybe once a quarter, maybe more often. A version is going to be out there for 2 years. You cannot force consumers to upgrade anything. So how do I maintain multiple versions that are out there in parallel? How do I, if I have 10s, 20, 30, 50 apps out there, how do I impose a uniform security model across these? These are the type of questions I think you need to be asking yourself. It's things that we know reasonably well to do on the web, but where mobile has taken these challenges to entirely new levels. Mobile is taking scale to a new level in terms of numbers of users, in terms of types of users. Are they consumers, citizens, business partners, employees? What do you have? in terms of the number of apps that you have out there, the number of generations of apps you need to support, all these dimensions, mobile really is pushing the scale. And this is what you need to think about as an enterprise. Even as a mid-sized organization, you're going to have a lot of this out there, and you're going to want to live with it securely. You're going to want to allow innovation in the mobile side without having to burden your enterprise systems with this. So this is what I would really be looking at.
So Kai, I know a lot of enterprises, they have been locked into big ERPs for decades even, and one of the first kind of movements within enterprise mobility were mobile enterprise application platforms that hope to kind of be the new platform between the end users and their ERPs. They wanted to almost replace an ERP if they could as the primary interface to back-end systems. Now, so you have a lot of independent platform companies that were popping up, but they're giving up a lot by not being tightly integrated with a particular vendor in some cases. What's your thoughts about that?
I think what you want to look at when you're building mobile apps, there is a valid case for going kind of inside out from your app and just slapping a mobile UI on it. It's a fast way to get some things out there. But I think for most use cases, if you really want to engage your users, and whether these are consumers, citizens, business partners, employees, people are spoiled today on mobile. Our expectations are very high. As consumers, we've been taught to have high expectations on our mobile experience. If you just kind of push your enterprise system functionality out onto a mobile app, you may meet a need temporarily. But what you really want to do is start designing for the user, for the situation the user is in. Where are they? When are they using this? How much time do they have? You want to design a new experience for that, and then work your way backwards to the enterprise systems. And guess what? Very seldom are you going to land in one system only in the back end. This is where all this mashup, if you look at any modern application, you expect maps in there. You expect contextual information. When I design a mobile experience, I want to take advantage of all the information I have. I know your location. I know the time of day. I can easily look up what's the weather outside. Whatever context makes sense, I want to take that into account. And this mashup, you do not want to do on the client. The mashup has to happen on the server, because otherwise you have an absolute maintenance nightmare with the clients out there. So you want a sophisticated user experience that's targeted to the situation a user is in when they perform a task, and you want this mashup to happen on the server side. And the mashup is going to be across enterprise systems, across web services out there, and this is what the early generation of mobile platforms completely failed at.
I want to thank Kai van der Loo for joining us today. And I know there's a lot of announcements on mobility here at the Oracle Open World 2014, so thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, this is Kevin Bennett reporting live from the Cognizant booth here at Oracle Open World 2014.